Today we're talking about our adventure in Guatemala here on episode 8. Sweetheart, what brings us to Guatemala? Why are we here?
Tikal. I want to see the Mayan ruins of Tikal.
Another
UNESCO World Heritage. You know me.
There you go.
I'm
You be finding those.
Sure do.
You track them down. You got them bookmarked in your phone. Then we also wanted to visit Antigua, and you had the crazy idea of scaling a volcano.
Not scaling a volcano. I wanted to roast marshmallows on an active volcano.
Oh, okay. That'll work too. And then we were going to do a stay at the Hobbit Town. What was the proper name of this location? Apatenango. And then, of course, your amazing IG photographs.
You don't stop with these IG pictures. I do not be picking trips to take IG pictures.
Yes, you do. Why you want to go to Iceland? Ooh, I'm going to take IG pictures on the black beach.
I wanted to see Diamond Beach.
Oh,
I wanted
Diamond
to walk
Beach.
on some black sand with some ice at my backside.
Mm-hmm. We digress. So now we're in Guatemala, and we really enjoy Guatemala. Our travel plans are we have to fly to Memphis because we have to take our pets to the parents so they can pet sit while we're in Guatemala.
Pet sit, fur babies.
Dear. I'm sorry. They had to take care of our babies while we're out of town, so we had to transport our 4 beagles and our rabbit. The rabbit stayed with my sister. The dog stayed with mom and dad. So we couldn't leave them in Lexington because we had no one to watch them for that amount of time. So we fly from Memphis to Atlanta, and from Atlanta we land in Guatemala City. And let me say, coming into Guatemala City, what an amazing view. It's surrounded by volcanoes. I did not know this. Guatemala has 37 volcanoes. Did you know that?
I did.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Learn something new every time we travel. I didn't even know there was that many volcanoes on planet Earth. But anyway, the city, Guatemala City, is surrounded like 4 of them, and 2 of them are active. So Fuego is active. And then you have, what's the other one? Pacaya,
yes.
Pacaya, then Agua, and then the other one. Give me that one. What's that one in Spanish?
Acatenango.
Yeah, so Agua, it's about 13,000 feet above sea level. It's about 3 to 6 miles away from Antigua, which one of the places we visited. And the last eruption happened between 10,000 and 80,000 years ago. And like I said, Fuego, it's still active. As a matter of fact, the last eruption was like May of this year. So that's scary. And that's about 10 miles west of Antigua. The highest point is about 12,362 feet above sea level. And then you have the one that we're going to talk about in another episode that we scale, Pacaya. It's about 19 miles southwest of Guatemala City. I believe that's the closest one to Guatemala City. And it last erupted in 2021. But it's still active. It still has lava flows from time to time, but it's not erupting.
You see the vents going, yeah.
You can see the smoke all times of day and all times of night.
I call it heavy breathing.
Heavy breathing. And then that final volcano, it hadn't erupted since 1924. Then there was another one in 27, and then another in 1972. And it has 2 peaks, and it's, I believe, the tallest of the 4 volcanoes.
Acatenango.
Yep, Acatenango. So now that we've landed in Guatemala City and we've taken in this amazing view from the plane, we have to get on another plane because we're going to Flores, which is the jump-off point to our first destination, the Tikal National Park. So when you get to Guatemala City, we get on this small little plane.
Yes.
It's like terrifying plane. It's like 1 seat on the left side, 2 seats on the right side. It's like a sardine can with wings.
It's basically a little bit larger than a private jet.
Really?
It is.
It felt really small to me.
Because it was small.
I was terrified.
Private jets are small.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit larger.
It just felt so unstable. I was terrified. I was terrified. We had to walk out the airport onto the tarmac to get on the plane. I'm like, what are we doing? We going back in time?
Tell them about how tiny it was on the inside.
Oh, I'm only like 5'10", 5'11", and my head was hitting the ceiling. I was walking through, boom, boom. I'm like, oh my God, it's small. And my knees, the seats are small because they're small people. The Guatemalans are small people.
Yeah.
So my knees were all in my chest. I had no room to do anything.
And it was my first experience getting a seatbelt extender because, you know, I'm shapely. I have hips and everything, and I fit in a regular, you know, Delta, American Airline seat just fine. American, you know, with no extender or anything because I don't really have a gut or anything. But sitting on that plane was very humbling for me. It was like, wow, I was getting scared. I didn't know what a seat extender was, people. So it was like I didn't know. And then the flight attendant saw me and he came over with the seatbelt extender. I had to get help. Like I did not know what to do with this thing. And you know, they strapped me in and we flew. And the reason why we had to change planes like that because going to Flores is not a really busy hub, so they don't have major airlines that can take you there. There's no direct flights.
Their airports are not equipped for a 747.
Yeah.
So that's why you have to take the smaller plane.
Yeah, because it's so small. Like Derek was saying, there are no, what's the word I'm looking for? When you board your plane, you walk down a little ramp. There's no ramp. They just stop on the tarmac. And you get out the plane and you
go to like the basement of the airport, then you walk out to the tarmac and then you walk up into the plane.
Yep. Yeah. So you're walking on the, you know,
the landing strip.
The landing strip.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which was pretty cool. London Rose thought it was amazing.
It was. It was pretty fun. I enjoyed that portion of it. But to make that trip, you have really two options. You can fly, take the small plane, or you can take a 9-hour bus ride.
Oh, yeah. Oh, but back to the plane. Okay, so that plane trip dictated our luggage size for the whole trip.
Forgot about that.
Because they have strict restrictions for that plane. Like they only had so many bags that they can hold in the bottom, like your check bags. You can only check one per person, and you can only have one carry-on per person. And the carry-on size was like the size of smaller than our standard carry-on. So it was basically like the pilot's luggage. If you ever watched the luggage that the pilot
the little
walks and it's never 4 wheels, only on 2, and you have to that's the size that you can have for your
like a large
carry-on.
Backpack.
Basically a large backpack.
Yeah. That's what I had. I put all my stuff in the backpack. I didn't want to carry extra luggage and then they say, well, it won't fit. And then I had nowhere to put my belongings.
Yeah.
That would have been a problem.
So that was interesting. And weight. That was my first time buying a luggage scale because I had to literally weigh our luggage.
Yep.
And I had to take things out because it was like, man, we don't want
No, we don't want to have this issue in Guatemala. Get our luggage left at the airport. Like, it weighs too much.
We don't play with nobody's rules whenever we travel.
We going to follow these rules because we don't know the penalty.
It
might
don't.
be life in prison. Don't know.
So...
Yeah, so we take the tiny plane to Flores, and we land at their airport, and then we had a hostel stay. This is the first time I ever stayed in a hostel. I think you've done this before, staying in a hostel. And I found that hostel very fun. It was different. In the lounging area or the patio area, they had a bar, restaurant, and at night they played music, they had little parties. So we had options in that hostel. They had the private room, they had the apartments, and then the dorm-style hostels.
Yeah, so the hostel that we stayed in was Los Amigos Hostel, okay? And as Derek said, it was very beautiful. They had paintings, murals everywhere. They had rabbits.
Cats. They had a dog, bunch of birds. It was like
turtles.
A hostel with a zoo in it, a petting zoo in it.
Yeah, and because it was almost like they had like a little mini jungle in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
So there was lots of birds and things
Yeah.
in there. And we had a private room with a private bath. As you know, at hostels, you could be in a room with a bunch of strangers with no restroom. Your restroom might be down the hall.
It's a public restroom.
Yeah.
Public restroom, public shower. You just, in a hostel, you're really just getting a bed.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we booked a private room, private bath, and our room was beautiful.
Yes, it was.
And we had 3 beds, right?
We had 3 beds.
Yeah, everyone had their own bed.
Yeah,
and
so
which worked out great.
Which worked out great because we didn't have to wrestle with London Rose.
No.
She's a wild sleeper.
Ooh, kicking people.
She sleeps like she crazy.
Yes.
So I remember about this hotel. They had a swing in the lobby, and London Rose would get on this swing, and I think she almost hit someone a couple of times because the swing is right in the walkway. I'm like, who put the swing right here? Terrible location for a swing. The food was good too. Mm-hmm. They had this bar downstairs. The beverages were good too. I partaked in a beverage or two while you were upstairs, and the nightlife, they play music, it seemed like all night. I don't know if you recall that.
I don't remember.
I do. I had to put my headphones on because they were playing music all night. It felt like it was all night because we had to get up at 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
To take this ride to our Tikal sunrise tour, where you almost got us mauled to death.
Stop it.
So we get there. We enjoy the hostel for a little bit because we have to go to bed because we have an early day. We have a bus picking us up at 3:30 a.m. to make an hour ride to this national park. I believe you booked the ride through the hostel. Mm-hmm. Okay. And so we did that, and then we take the ride to Tikal. And be sure, if you're going to do the sunrise tour, make sure you have a light because they don't provide lights.
No. And the lights that we purchased like little miners lights that had a headband and the light sits on your forehead. So I bought these last minute on Amazon, and they came 2 days,
Right before we left.
Yeah, right before we left, popped them batteries in, and we were on to go. So we also got mosquito repellent, the little...
The bands.
Little bracelets that help, with mosquitoes. Because you're literally walking through
the
jungles. And ladies... don't wear your hair down. If you,
it was muggy too.
So my hair was all flat iron and beautiful, and I'm thinking, ooh, I'm gonna be cute walking through the jungle. Wrong. I had a full fro 15 minutes into this tour because it was misty. It was
it's muggy. It's April and it's still kind of muggy.
Yeah.
The humidity is thick.
Yeah, it was misting. It wasn't exactly raining. What was that? I don't know what you call that, but it was wet.
Fog, mist, humidity. It was thick. It was like really, I recall at like 5 o'clock in the morning, it was just too thick and muggy for it to be there early in the day. The sun wasn't even up yet. But once again, we were in the jungle.
Yeah.
So when you get there, you meet at the meeting location. You meet your tour guide, and then you take off on this 1.5 miles. Well, it's a half a mile walk to the temple where you're going to watch the sunrise.
That was a half a mile walk. Ooh.
It felt longer than that because it's in the dark, so you're terrified.
Yes, and you are walking in the dark. And keep in mind, you're in a group.
Yes.
And I don't know why I do this to myself and my families, but
Don't know why.
I book these tours and be forgetting that you need to be in shape, or you need to at least plan for these trips.
Right.
So, because I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for this
because
walk.
we assumed we knew it was a tour. We assumed that like they were going to shuttle us to this spot.
In my brain, I'm thinking, oh, we're going to jump. We're going to meet our tour guide right here in point A. Then we're going to take a couple of steps and we're going to be into the park and we're going to be at our spot.
Right.
No, had no idea. You dropping us off at the edge of the jungle and we have to walk through the jungle to get to these temples. And we're talking about stepping over tree roots, going up hills, stepping over logs.
Right.
It is
You hope it's a log.
You hope it. Oh, my goodness. Because now keep in mind, we're being very generous. And I don't know why people don't talk about this on social media, because that's why I found out about Tikal.
Right.
This
they leave
tour,
that stuff out.
is that you're literally outside in the elements with wild animals,
Predators.
And, we get like a brief talk. Oh, be careful of the snake, and
It said, be careful, watch out for the snakes. They kind of look like sticks. I'm like, what?
And we're like, okay, yeah, yes, sir. But why are we walking? Then all of a sudden he says, everybody freeze.
Freeze.
Do you see that? We're like, what?
No, I saw it because I was standing right beside him.
And then Derek was right beside him. And I'm like, what? And Derek said,
it's a jaguar.
It was a jaguar.
And he was like, did you see that? I'm like, yeah, I saw that. I said, we're going to go that way? We're going to change direction. Like, we'll give him a moment to pass through.
Yeah. Now, I want you to think about it. Okay, like, picture yourself. It was like if you're going through a McDonald's drive-thru and you at the menu bar. The jaguar would have been about as far as where the first window one is. That's how close it was to us.
Yep.
There's no fence separating us. It's right there on our path.
There's no firearms. There's no Jaguar BOA spray. There you are. There. I didn't see no rocks. There was nothing. You were defenseless.
An ambitious soul could have walked up and pet this thing. That's how close it was. And that's the moment
that I realized you was trying to kill me.
I realized that I be doing the most sometimes. Like, woman, you gotta calm down, because this could have went left real quick. Thank goodness nobody was harmed.
Thank goodness he ate well the night before, or just finished hunting.
Because it was about 20 of us in that group.
Oh, he could have picked us all off.
And I was in the back because, like I said, I wasn't in the best of shapes. So no matter how hard I tried, because I don't know what it was about our tour guide, but that man was walking like he was in a marathon. I'm like, bro.
He was running through the jungle. I'm like, what are you doing, bro? It's not going nowhere.
And I just could not keep up. And it was just like, a lot of times I ended up in the back of the group, and I'll look behind me and it's pitch black.
Black.
And I'm scared. I'm already scared of the dark, and I don't care if who knows. I'm afraid of the dark. I sleep with a nightlight. It's a real thing.
But you want to do a sunrise tour in the middle of the jungle.
But in my brain, I don't know why I thought that there was going to be some kind of spotlight or something. Like, I wasn't expecting pitch black with a tour guide that was going to be Speedy Gonzalez and through this thing. I'm like, bro, can we slow down? We got a little kid in the group, which was London Rose.
He didn't care.
He did not care.
He had somewhere to be. He wanted to make sure we got to that sunrise.
Yes. He made sure that we made it to that temple in time for this sunrise.
He was on his schedule.
So, and I say temple, but it's actually a pyramid. If you've seen Apocalypto, the movie, it's one of those temples.
Type of temples, yeah.
Yeah, it's literally identical.
Yeah.
I wonder if they filmed that there.
I thought they did. Huh. We'll have to do some digging.
We should look that up.
Look that up.
But let me tell you, so we finally, get to the temple that we were going to go up, because you got to keep in mind, these pyramids were built
in the 6th century BC. It's a long time.
6th century, okay? BC.
It's part of the Mayan Empire.
Yes, it's an actual city. And so there are some temples you cannot touch.
Yeah.
And there are some that you
have access to.
None of them you can climb up them, I don't think, anymore.
Not anymore, but when we were there, we were able to climb that temple.
One side.
But since then, people have lost their minds when it comes to Tikal. They start taking artifacts and breaking things of that nature. So they've kind of limited your access to certain temples.
So you can't really go up them anymore. But the ones that we went up, they had built wooden stairs alongside of it, so you can climb those stairs, which
was a hike.
It was a challenge for me. And once again, I need to really hit the gym hard before I go on these trips, because they are legit workouts.
And have on the right shoes. Because we never have on the right shoes. I didn't have on the right shoes.
I have on the right, and I made sure London Rose had on the right shoes.
I had on running shoes.
But
improper shoes for that hike.
I had my little arch support in there. I was good to go. But my thing was, it was the steps. You couldn't tell me we didn't have like 17,000 steps before the sun even rose.
Like, we probably did. We probably had about 25,000 steps before we even made it to the temple.
It was a nice walk, but I will say this: getting to the top of the temple, you're up there.
It was worth it.
And you're above clouds at some point. I mean,
you're above the clouds. You're above the canopy of the forest.
Yes, you're literally above the canopy of the forest. And so we're sitting there in the dark, waiting, and all of a sudden, you could hear the jungle come alive. Mm-hmm. It's like all at once.
They just all wake up.
You hear the howler monkeys going. You hear the birds chirping. Mm-hmm. And we were fortunate enough to even see a quetzal bird fly past us. The quetzal is the national bird of Guatemala. It's a beautiful, beautiful bird. And it was just the most magical thing. And as we're sitting there, then the sun rays are starting to peek through the clouds. And it's just, slowly got louder and then brighter. Mm-hmm. And, everyone is, waking back up and pulling out their phones and taking pictures. Video. And because after a while, when the fog clears, you can start seeing the tops of the other temples in the park. And it was just so magical.
And our guy was like, wait a minute, just hold on. It'll just blow away, and then you'll see the rest of the monuments. Yes. And then, like clockwork, they just all start to dissipate. And then you can see the top of these monuments that have been around since the 6th century BC. Yeah. And they're still standing.
Still standing. And we sat there for about a good hour waiting.
Maybe a little longer than that.
Yeah. And people, pulled out snacks, and we ate up at the top of this temple. And after a while, the sun really said hello, and then that heat hit us.
Start baking you. And then the tour guide said, all right, guys,
it's time to go down.
Time to go down and see the rest of the park. Let's get out of the sunlight.
If you ever come to Tikal, make sure you have on sunscreen and plenty of water.
Water, snacks, sunscreen, proper shoes. That's our advice. And then, so we leave the Sunrise Temple, and we just tour the rest of the park. And we go to like the Grand Plaza, and then Temple 1. It's where I think he said where they did like their games. They had this Mayan game. He explained it. I can't recall the game, but it seemed like it was a duel to the death type game. So I would have bought a ticket to that.
It's like a cross between football and soccer in a way.
It's a cross of all sports, it seemed like. But it seemed like it was a blood sport.
Yeah, because we forgot to mention that one of the Star Wars films, what was it?
Oh, there you go, being a Star Wars junkie.
Tikal was actually the Rebel Alliance base in Episode 4 of Star Wars: A New Hope. So, if Star Wars, that's your thing.
There we go. That's your thing, Star Wars.
Showing my nerd side.
You're nerding out, baby. You're nerding out. But then we forget to talk about there is a cost to enter the park.
Yes.
Was it 50?
Okay, so just regular adults fee for nationals. No, we're not national. Internationals. Yeah, foreigners was about $20. So you have to have your passport. So make sure you have your passport on you, and that's $20. Now to do this sunrise tour, that was an additional about $33. So 12 and under free. And I do believe we did have to pay for London Rose's sunrise tour, but her entrance into the park was free.
Gotcha. And then you booked the travel there through Five Tour, right? From our hotel to the park?
No, I actually booked the transport from our hotel from our hostel through the hostel. They
Gotcha.
had a travel agency in the hostel,
Mm-hmm.
and we booked that through them.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha. So,
Which I recommend. If you're not staying in the Jungle Lodge, which is like right there on the property, I'll talk about the Jungle Lodge in a second. That is one of my regrets, you guys, not staying in the Jungle Lodge.
that's a big regret.
The Jungle Lodge is exactly what it sounds like. It is a lodge
On
in
the
the jungle. but it is it's high end.
Yes. It's a luxury hotel.
It is a luxury hotel
in the jungle.
Yes, big soaking tubs, plush couches, beautiful beds. The reason why I chose not to do the beautiful Jungle Lodge is because they said at 10 o'clock they cut the power.
And we know she needs her power.
I have to have that nightlight, y'all. It's a whole thing. You want to explain?
No power, no TV. So they cut the power because it's in a national park, and they try to conserve energy because it was created by conservatives. So not conservatives, I mean conservationists. So they want to maintain that at the park. So that's why they cut the power at 10. Now you still have access to some power. You have enough power to power a ceiling fan, a TV, not a TV, a night light, and a power plug. That's all you get. Now, if you want to watch a movie, you can go to the conference room prior to 10 p.m. to watch a movie. But you can't watch it in your room because there are no TVs. No. So that's why it's done that way. But it's still a high-end luxury hotel.
Yes. And, there's, no glass, like glass windows, like your standard. They have, I forgot.
Shutters, maybe.
Yeah, I forgot how they explained it, but it's beautiful for one, but it's not your standard shut the window, lock it type thing. And they have mosquito nets on your bed.
You're one with nature.
You're one with nature. You know what?
Yeah.
You know what it reminds me of? If you're into Twilight, it's when
No, not.
when Edward.
Is that the wolf guy?
No, that's the vampire guy.
Okay.
When he got married, why can I think of I can't think of the girl's name.
Is this similar to Interview with the Vampire?
Stop getting off the. No.
I'm sorry.
Okay, when Edward and I can't even think of the lead of the book movie, that girl.
Oh, Count Dracula.
When they got together, and they had their honeymoon, they were on that island, and that their bed had the mosquito net and everything on it. That's what the room reminds you of. Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I can't keep the nerd in sometimes.
I'm gonna have to watch Twilight. Which one is that? 2, 3, or 4?
I think that happens in 3.
Is that the Return of the Lycans?
Stop, Derek. Anyway,
I don't
it's
know
a
the
very
movie.
beautiful room. And they have mosquitoes there. So I told Derek, I said, if we ever come back, we should bring our candle.
Oh yeah.
I can't think of why am I forgetting things today?
The little candle you put your candlestick in and you carry it around.
The candle that you use to keep mosquitoes and stuff away. Citronella candle. Yeah. Can you even carry citronella candles?
You probably have to buy it there.
I don't know. It's a thought.
If they let you bring it.
It's a thought.
Because you're killing the environment.
I'm not leaving it there. It's coming with me.
You're killing the insects, which are a part of the circle of life.
Oh, goodness.
I'm just saying.
So that was a thing. So that was my regret. And the next time we go,
we'll stand at least one night at the Jungle Lodge.
We will do the Jungle Lodge for one night.
For sure, for one night. So we finish up with Tikal and we head back to our hostel in Flores, where you get a massage. You visit the spa. So this is a different type of hostel. Once again, they have a spa in there. Most hostels don't have any of that. So
yes.
you got the massage.
So I got this massage, and I'm thinking, ooh, I'm a do her real nice. I'm gonna give her
tip.
I had 56
quetzals
in my pocket, and I'm thinking I'm gonna give her 56, quote unquote dollar tip.
You gonna make it rain.
And I'm sitting there, and I gave it to her. She was appreciative, gracias or whatnot. Mm-hmm. But then when I thought about it, I was like, wait a minute, I don't think I
Gave her a big
I think
enough
I
tip.
did. I don't think
You gave her 65 cues, and you thought you were giving her a big tip, and you realized you gave her what, $6?
I gave her $7.21. And I felt really bad after the fact. But, I didn't realize that until, like, later on after we had left. And I was like, darn it, man. She's probably thinking, oh, you little cheap American, you. But I'm really thinking, I'm like, making her, I don't know.
I just dropped 65 bones for a tip. Get her like $3.22.
And she did so good, and I don't know.
She did a great job with the massage.
I should have calculated the conversion before I tipped her.
Yeah. So after your massage, you felt so much better. We were hungry. We took a toot-toot ride. So a toot-toot ride. Toot-toot.
Yep.
A toot-toot ride from the hostel to the little shopping plaza they have across the bridge. So a toot-toot is like a scooter with a buggy attached to it, so to speak, with doors.
Is.
It's like a golf cart with extra seats.
It's a tuk-tuk is literally, it's like a, what it puts me in the mind of? Not the teacup ride at a fair.
Yeah.
But it's one of those little rides.
It feels that way.
Where you have two people sitting in the back and then one person in the front, like on a bicycle almost like, but it's a motorcycle. Now
it's like a motorized tricycle.
Basically. And so a tuk-tuk is only really designed to fit no more than two grown adults. But it was us and
London Rose.
And the man was like, no, you could fit all three.
Get in. So
my tail get in.
And the door won't close.
And the door would not close because of my hips. Oh, my goodness. And he was like, no, it's okay. Just hold it.
No. First he tried to slam it on you. Like, okay. Just hold it. And this guy is balling. He's driving so fast. I'm like, if he hit this curve, you're going to fall out.
Yeah, and we're literally riding through town in a tuk-tuk with the door slightly open and my hip poking out. And I'm like holding on for dear life. And we couldn't do nothing but just kind of laugh about it. Like, funny. Why do we do this stuff to ourselves? Yeah. Why? And then all of that because we just really, really, really wanted to go to Pizza Hut.
Because that's what we knew.
Yep. Because I wasn't feeling brave. I didn't know if they ate cuy or anything. That cuy is guinea pig. And
that's a Peruvian thing.
That is, but there's other countries that eat cuy too. So I didn't know, and I wasn't feeling brave.
No cuy.
So basically, we just wanted to just eat something that we know, and we went to this Pizza Hut. But let me tell y'all this: that was the best pizza. Now I'm not gonna say the best pizza because.
But it very well may be the best Pizza Hut.
Pizza Hut, yes, because Italy has the best pizza. I got to put that out there.
It may be the best Pizza Hut we have ever had.
But it was delicious. It was rivaling the pizza over there in Italy.
It was unexpected pizza pleasure.
It was so good.
I was like, what? Is this stuff imported from another country? Because this ain't the Pizza Hut that we accustomed to.
It's good. You can tell the meat was fresh, the dough was fresh, the
sauce was fresh. Amazing.
I just knew
the cheese was right. The bread.
You couldn't tell me that if we were to peek back there, there was gonna be somebody over a vat of sauce adding seasoning.
This is not fast food pizza we eating.
No, and it took a while for our pizza to come out, which let us know that they were actually
making
the pizza. It was so good.
It was so good. It was delicious. The best Pizza Hut I've ever had.
Yes.
And that's saying a lot. I mean, Pizza Hut's not, in my opinion, not that great, but this Pizza Hut tasted like gourmet pizza.
Yes.
It wasn't your average run-of-the-mill Pizza Hut. Don't know what it was, but it was fantastic.
It was made with care, and
it was made with love.
Made with love. Oh my
like my mama's pancakes.
Oh my gosh! And like we were sitting there, looking out the window, just watching the people, and it was just the bravery.
Oh,
it was a lot of mopeds out there, and we would see people that have like 4 and 5 people, and I'm not exaggerating when I say this, 4 and 5 people stacked on the back of like mopeds. A mother holding her child in her arms. She would have one in the front, one in the back, and then a man driving.
Yeah, there's like 3 people on the back. He got someone on the handlebars.
Yes.
It was like, we gonna see a disaster going back.
But no, there were no accidents.
No accidents.
And they were just weaving in and out of traffic. And I'm like, no helmets.
No helmets, no leather coats, nothing.
Nothing. And every now and then, I noticed someone riding a horse.
Yep, I saw the horses.
Down the street.
Yep.
Which was just like, wow, you know?
I don't know if you saw this at the Pizza Hut. There was a gentleman there, him and his wife. He had armed security. He had two guys downstairs with guns and 2 guys upstairs with him with lunch. Yeah, while we were eating. I was watching. I was like, that guy must be important, because I saw the guys with their suits on, the little Guatemalan guys, suits on, and they had the guns strapped around their chest. I was like, he must be like the president or something. And then I go to the bathroom, which was downstairs. This is a 2-level Pizza Hut, so the bathroom is downstairs. And he has 2 guys guarding the door at
to the bathroom?
No, at Pizza Hut, to get in with their guns, with their AKs. I don't know how you missed that.
I remember you mentioning that. I didn't. I was just so into my food.
Into your pizza.
So I didn't even notice.
They got up right before we did, and I just watched these guys walk out. And they walked out like military styles. 2 guys went out to survey the perimeter. 2 guys stayed with him, and then they walked their way to the car. They drove off in 2 cars. So he was in 1 car. 2 guys were in the 1 car with him, and they had another car leading the pack. And I was like, that guy must be important or dangerous. I don't know which one, but I had never seen that before.
In Pizza Hut.
In Pizza Hut. Like, no one batted an eye except me. So this must be just normal. Or maybe he's like the mayor or the governor of that part of the country. I don't know.
Interesting.
So I thought I'd point that out.
Okay.
That caught my eye. So after our great Pizza Hut, we had a long day. We did the sunrise tour in the middle of a jungle. We almost became food for a jaguar. We're just tired. And we have to get on the plane in the morning to finish the second leg of the Guatemalan tour. So we just turned it in. Like, I'm beat. And it's for good reason, because we took a lot of steps that day. We did about 25,000 steps. But we're tired. It's time to go. And so the next day we're getting on the plane. We're going back to Guatemala City to go to Antigua. So join us next time as we talk about our adventures in Antigua. Later.